I am happily married to my wife since 2016, and we have two beautiful daughters, 3 and 6. The 6-year-old is a spitting image of me, but her personality is in the full likeness of my wife. And then the 3-year-old is the opposite, looks like my wife, but is a spitting image of me as a personality. And she's a risk taker. She's the one who's like climbing on the top of the couch, trying to jump off, hurl herself off of anything she can possibly find. And we love it, man. We live in Ventura now. So we moved from, we were in the Simi Valley, Thousand Oaks area. And if anybody listening knows where that is, it is not too far away, but it is a world apart.
Right.
And we absolutely love Ventura. We moved here about 2 years ago, and we figuratively and literally leveled up our lives.
Oh, that's cool.
Everything, there was a pivotal shift. I'll say
Yeah.
everything changed when we moved to Ventura. There was a pivotal shift in mindset when we moved to Ventura. But I'll also say that a mindset shift happened when I started getting into these different mastermind groups, different business groups. Before we were on camera, we were talking about a mutual friend of ours that I had met in a business group. And I finally feel like I've found my people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been kind of like floating through life for so long with friendships and relationships that haven't quite aligned with what I know my purpose and my progress is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I digress. But if anybody out there is looking like to level up or looking to like find their tribe or anything like that, and they're in business, I highly suggest you get around paid groups where you can be in a room with people who do the same stuff, like-minded people, right? Whether that's real estate, business, e-commerce, whatever kind of stuff you're into, pay to be in the rooms. It'll level you up. It's definitely the shortcut. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, back to dad stuff. So yeah, that's what my family looks like. My mom is still around. My mom actually lives in France now.
She did, huh? She moved.
Yeah, she moved to France. That's a whole nother story in and of itself. We could write a book about her life too. So my mom's actually here visiting right now. She's in the other room watching the kiddos because they're off school today. And we have an extra room in our house. When we bought this house, we purposely bought a house with an extra room so my mom could live with us. My mom and my stepdad from France could live with us for months at a time. So they come for the holidays every winter. They come for like almost 3 months because my father-in-law, or sorry, my stepdad, he's on a visitor visa. So he can only stay 89 days in the US at a time.
That's cool. That's cool.
So that's what the family dynamic looks like. My father-in-law and my mother-in-law, they're amazing people. They live in Thousand Oaks. They're not far from us. They're very involved in the kids' lives. They're very involved in our lives, and we have a very strong family bond. We go on vacations together, which is not a lot of people go on vacations with their in-laws or their parents, but we do that as well. So
that's cool. That's cool. I want to ask you one last question, and then I'm going to let you go. But when it comes to your own kids, because here you are a dad of two young girls, with the lifestyle and the way that you were raised and brought up, what have you implemented as a dad that maybe your dad taught you or didn't teach you?
That's a great question. So I was scared shitless to have a boy.
Okay.
I don't have boys. I don't have boys, that I know of. I was scared shitless to have a boy.
Okay.
Because I was afraid I was going to father him like my dad fathered me. But what I realized is that it doesn't matter what kind of kid you have, even if it's a boy or girl, you're going to be the father that you are.
Right.
But the important thing to remember is that we have the power to change every reaction that we're living through.
Correct.
So one thing that my dad taught me that I'm definitely using now that my kids are getting old, well, a little older, right? My 6-year-old, she's starting to understand money and business. And I show her what I do. I show her that I don't work for anyone else. I show her that what that means. And I show her that's very different from the majority of the world out there that has a job that they go to. And so definitely passing that part of it down. One thing that I do that my dad didn't do necessarily is I am like overly loving almost, where
Mhm.
I'm like multiple times a day I'm telling them I love you. And it's funny you asked this question because yesterday I picked up the 6-year-old, the tall one. I picked her up from school and we were driving to art class and quiet in the truck. She's eating her snacks on the way. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I love you. She's like, why do you always say that to me? I'm like, oh, okay, it's already starting and you're 6, you
Right.
know? But to a point where I'm like telling her I love her so much that she's like, I know, Dad.
Right.
I'd rather her say, I know, Dad, than you never tell me you love me,
Right. Then wonder.
than wonder.
Yeah.
I get choked up thinking about this because you have boys and I have girls, but I know that our kids always look for love as their parents loved them.
Hmm.
My daughters are going to look for a partner who mimics my style of loving them.
Right.
It's my obligation and my duty as a father to love them the best way possible so they don't end up with some shit bag.
Right.